All right. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Good evening, everyone. Return for our final meeting of the summer as we're on the precipice of a new school year. We have limited business today, mostly some administrative items, but we do have a couple good things of note, which we were going to share in a couple minutes. So take a motion to adopt the agenda. Ms. Clark, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Any questions on the agenda? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Items E through H require one resolution for adoption. Is there a motion? Mr. Bronson, and seconded by Ms. Meyer. And we have one bid on here. It is an RFP for Universal Pre-K, which we're very excited about. Dr. Hender, can you tell us a little about this one?
Sure can. My microphone's still loading up, so I'm going to steal Mr. Conway's here. Thank you very much. They say that the third time is the charm, and this time our bids, we are happy to announce we are looking to award two companies tonight with some UPK seats. The Learning Experience right here in South Huntington and KinderCare at Huntington, both of which will help us exhaust our current wait list of UPK students, totaling our new number of UPK students for this upcoming 25-26 school year to 252 students from the 150 students that we had this previous year. So we're able to get over 100 more in.
Amazing. Great job. Thank you. We've been working on this for a while, it seems, with a number of RFPs, so to get two vendors is excellent. Thank you, Dr. Hender. Board, have any questions? Yes, Ms. Meyer.
Not a question, but I just want to thank Dr. Hender for his tireless work on this. I mean, when you think about a creative solution, I know Dr. Hender has exhausted every angle and left no stone unturned. And I think this is just such a boon to our community to be able to offer these additional seats. So thank you, Dr. Hender, and your team.
Thank you. Anyone else? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. And of course, next year we won't have to worry about this because we will have a standalone building and UPK for all. So, but thank you so much for doing everything you can to get every student in this year. All right. Moving on to new business. We have new business item number 1 is the adoption of a new board policy required by state law, extreme heat conditions. Is there a motion? Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Meyer. Dr. D'Elia.
Yes, and South Huntington has really been ahead of this. I give a lot of credit to the Facilities Committee a few years ago, before this even became a proposed law, that we have all of our classrooms, homeroom rooms are air conditioned, and we're even working right now on the smaller venues. Mr. Martin, as our facilities director, has put a plan together to make sure those venues, and we're starting to attack them. But in the high school, we do have air conditioning now in the cafeterias, both of them. So we have additional places for students. But when it hits 88 degrees, and that's a measurement of in the middle of the classroom, 3 feet above, and it says 88 degrees, instruction cannot take place in that room. But like I said, fortunately, we are in great shape with air conditioning in all the rooms. We could have done really well this year if the law was in place this past school year. So we're definitely ahead of the curve. We're in great shape, and the biggest challenge is at the high school level when they do their end of the year testing. They're in finals week where the North Gym could be a little bit of. I know Dr. Murphy was working on that actually this year with his testing. Working on accommodations because I think we were kind of warm some of those days. But now having the north and south cafeteria air conditioned does make a difference and does give some additional options. And his team has been great working with this. So we're ready to go.
Great. So what would that mean for gym class though?
Well, we also go by Section 11 because they will also give us an understanding of if there is a heat advisory. So it could be, that there's no activity that day if we're above 88 degrees. And, but sometimes outside can be a little cooler than it is inside, especially with the brick buildings. So that's what we have to wait and see exactly, if it's potentially a little cooler outside in the shade, or, unfortunately some days could be that with those extreme heat that there may just be, it could be phys ed in the classroom where it's air conditioned. I know there won't be a lot of athletic physical exercise going on, but fortunately we don't have a lot of, between June and September, we don't have a ton of those days, but we do have some extreme heat days, and we'll have to make those accommodations.
Or in our wonderful weight room.
Yes, which is air conditioned. Thank you. We're trying to get as much air conditioned, because I think the community feels pretty comfortable with our rooms being air conditioned. The next piece is school buses, and I know Mr. Conway, working with transportation, has been doing an excellent job with the new buses that we're getting. We are requiring air conditioning in all those new buses that come our way, and we just have 11 that was budgeted for this year, and all 11 will have air conditioning. So 7 big ones and 4 small, 4 vans. So we're moving forward in that regard.
Okay, thank you. Questions on the policy? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business. Item number 2 is a renewal agreement with Mount Golda Cemetery. Interesting item on the agenda. Ms. Meyer, and seconded by Ms. Clark. Mr. Conway.
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. Tonight for the board's approval is a request to renew and execute a contract extension provision in the current agreement we have with the Mount Golda Cemetery. This would be our third and final extension based on the provisions in the original contract. This is agreement to rent the parking area near the Countrywood School for an additional 5-year period ending in 2030 with an annual cost of $4,000.
Okay. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? And as Mr. Conway said, we've been, this has been a long time that we've been doing this, at least 4. All right, moving on to item number 3. This is following our public presentation or our public hearing. Approval of the district-wide safety plan for the 2025-2026 school year. Is there a motion? Mr. Scragg, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Mr. Smith.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. For the Board of Education's approval is the 2025-26 district-wide safety plan. This is the same plan that was presented to the Board of Education as a draft on July 8th, 2025. With the board's approval tonight, it will come out of draft and will be posted on the district website.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. The board have any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to item number 4 is the approval of an out-of-district placement with the Comac School District in matter discussed in executive session. Is there a motion? Mr. Scragg, seconded by Ms. Clark. Mr. Lombardo.
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. For the board's approval, this placement is for an 11-year-old South Huntington student who is classified with autism. We do not currently have an appropriate program on the middle school level. The student requires intensive support due to behavioral needs, delays with self-care skills, and communication and academic delays.
Okay. Any further questions? All in favor? Any opposed? And the matter is adopted 5-0. Moving on to item number 5 is approval of an agreement between South Huntington and school aid specialists. Is there a motion? Mr. Brunson, seconded by Ms. Meyer. Mr. Lombardo again.
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. For the board's approval, this agreement with school aid specialists is for the 2025-2026 school year. We've worked with school aid specialists successfully for over 15 years, and they work to maximize our Medicaid revenue based on services the district provides to students, and their fee is still unchanged at the 20% of the retained Medicaid funds received.
Great, thank you. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? And moving on to item number 6, approval of another agreement, this time between South Huntington and Metro Therapy Incorporated. Motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Clark. Mr. Lombardo, once again.
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. For the board's approval, this agreement with Metro Therapy is for the 2025-2026 school year. Metro Therapy provides related services and evaluations for our students in a variety of settings, including hospitals, private schools, and in students' homes. They provide services for students enrolled in early intervention and preschool, and for school-age students when the district is unable to assign an in-district staff member.
Thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? Item 7 is multiple placements by the committees on special education and the committees on preschool special education. Dates listed from March, April, May, June, July, and August. Is there a motion? Ms. Clark, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Are there any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to item 8 is the approval of the school comprehensive education plan for the upcoming school year. Motion. Mr. Scragg, seconded by Ms. Meyer. Dr. Hender.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. Tonight for the board's approval is the School Comprehensive Education Plan for Silas Wood 6th Grade Center. This comes out of the State Ed's Office of Accountability, which has identified Silas Wood as a targeted building, requiring this comprehensive education plan to be approved tonight and also posted on our website tomorrow. I'd like to thank Mrs. Hahn and Mr. Toto for their tireless work in getting this plan completed with the committee, and really the work that they've done already. Don't want to let too much out of the bag, but we have gotten some of our state results back for this upcoming school year, and we are seeing some favorable impacts already. So I'm excited about that.
Okay. Thank you. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Moving on to new business. Item number 9 is the approval of the district's comprehensive improvement plan for 2025-2026. Is there a motion? Ms. Clark, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Dr. Hender again.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. Tonight for the board's approval is our district comprehensive improvement plan. Comes out of the State Office of Accountability. It has identified certain target area groups within our district that we can provide extra support to. It does give us some funding to do so, and Mrs. Hahn, once again, was instrumental in running a committee that included members of all the stakeholder groups, including parents and members of the community. So we thank her for her tireless work on that as well.
What was the targeted area that required this plan? Was it the same as the Silas Wood, or?
Essentially, yes. Basically, it was some of our English language learners and also our Hispanic population as well.
Okay.
Were 2 targeted areas.
Okay. Further questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Personnel. We have personnel schedules 2, 6, 7, 9, 11, 15, 16, 19, 20, and 22. Is there a motion? Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Bronson. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Those are a lot of our administrative items to hire the rest of our staff that we need to start the school year. Personnel postings are listed. We have no committee reports. Our next meeting is September 3rd. That's our first. Okay. Future meetings are listed. Comments by board members. Ms. Clark.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. I just want to say that I was honored to be invited to watch the marching band after they finished their week of band camp. And as a former marching band parent and BPA board member, it was very exciting to watch them in action. So I know they've been working hard, and I commend them all. It was a great show. And I'm looking forward to seeing some more as they progress and learn their whole show.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Clark. Once a marching band parent, always a marching band parent.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Ms. Meyer.
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. I'll keep it brief. I just want to wish everyone a wonderful start to the new school year, as this is our last summer meeting. And again, just thank everyone for the hard work, from everything from Wildcat Camp to the extended school year that took place. Everything was a wonderful success. If anyone's not checking out all the great photos and progress on social media, you should definitely be following it. It's great to see so many smiling faces of our students engaged over the summer as well. And then I have one other exciting piece of news to share. that a Walt Whitman alumni from the class of 2000, Alicia Layton, has been named a Fulbright Scholar for
Oh, wow.
2026. I don't know that we've ever had one.
Oh.
There are only 6 given out in the entire world across all disciplines.
Oh, that's amazing.
And she has a PhD in classical music, and she is a professor in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And she applied, and she has been named a Fulbright Scholar. So she will be headed to Italy to complete her scholarship program
Great.
later this year.
If you can share that with Dr. Murphy, we'll put her up on social media.
I certainly will. But
Thank you.
one of Whitman's finest, certainly.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Any other comments? Just I want to also, we had some good news. It's been mostly quiet over the summer, but we got some really good news recently. In a couple regards, our AP score results from last year came back, and as you know, we've made a focus of increasing number of AP students and AP exams offered, and we did do that this year. And despite doing that, we had great success on our passing, which would be students who score 3 or better. That was near 86%, which is one of the highest we've ever had. So that was excellent news. And because of that as well, we've also received great news in U.S. News and World Reports, where we're leapfrogging quite a number of schools, nationally in the county and in the state. And we went up more than 39 places, Walt Whitman High School did, in our New York State rankings, which we're very impressed by, obviously. And we're now ranked 17th in the U.S. News and World Reports, which is a different ranking than the niche.com in all of Suffolk County. So great work. Dr. Murphy, you want to say anything else?
It's been great working with Ms. Kavanaugh, really focusing on AP. The teachers have been doing an amazing job, and honestly, it just shows that our students can adapt and overcome anything and are able to excel, and I'm very proud of them and my staff.
Thank you. Yeah, and I get an opportunity to look at the criteria that go into that, AP exams offered, AP passing, and those are things that you've been laser-like focused on and, throughout your tenure. So great job by you and your staff.
Thank you. It's amazing. We are now at where 50% of our kids will go in taking at least one AP exam, and studies show if they take it, if a student takes at least one AP exam, they have a 50% more likely chance to be successful in college. So our goal is to get to 100, and that would always be my goal, but we are moving the dial, and that is something that's really, I'm very proud of the staff and students to be able to accomplish that.
Excellent. Thank you. Yep, great job by you, your administration, and all the teachers in the building. Very proud. And you might have seen a lot of construction work going on throughout the district. That's continuing. In the high school particularly, we have 3 science classrooms that were renovated over the summer because of gas problems. I actually got to look at them today. They're really coming along quite nicely. We have a lot of construction work going on elsewhere besides the high school, particularly Memorial. You may have seen a lot of work there. We've had dumpsters there throughout the year, summer, and they're really progressing rapidly. And we hope to have and open that building with at least incoming students to walk around, do tours in the spring, and we expect that people will really be pleasantly surprised by that building as well. And we did a lot of painting as well at Stimson, which we want to continue on. So a lot of things happening around the district and a lot of projects in progress as well that you'll be seeing in the coming months. Dr. D'Elia?
Yes, I would like to just echo what Ms. Clark had said earlier with the marching band. I happened to be there on Sunday as well. They were phenomenal. It was a great sunny day. It was a little bit on the warm side, but that's okay. But they were absolutely marvelous out there. So they're off to a great start. Class lists at the elementary level, class assignments will be going on tomorrow at 9 o'clock, Dr. Hender, through the port. 12 o'clock, okay, keep them in suspense a little more. 12 o'clock, tomorrow they'll be going on the portal. And there's a reason why, I just want to explain why at the elementary level it's taking a little bit longer this summer. It's usually like a week or 2 prior, but we did have a teacher recently was promoted to an administrative position in another district. It had a domino effect, so we had to hire, which we just did tonight through the board approving the personnel agenda. In order to do that, we had to wait for this to happen tonight, and we don't ever want to send home or put on a portal TBD on August 20th, saying we don't know which teacher you're going to have. That's not, I'd be, as a parent, I would be very uncomfortable with that. So just based on circumstances this year, that's why it went out 10 days maybe later than it usually goes out. It usually goes out around August 10th or 11th. So I just want to be very clear that we are fully staffed at the elementary level. There will be a name for every student, a teacher for every student tomorrow. So that's why there was a little bit of a delay. It's not through the. I mean, his office was extremely busy over the past week and a half here. So we have a great team ready, and secondary, I think we know where we're going. But elementary, we'll find out tomorrow at noon, and letters will also be mailed out tomorrow morning as well. They'll be home in the day or two after. Also, getting ready for the school year. We had this week. We are having new teacher orientation. We have a dynamite new group of people coming in here, teachers coming in that are super excited to be part of the mission here in South Huntington. And I had the opportunity to meet with them Monday morning, and I had a chance to have a great conversation with them. And they are super excited, and they're eager and willing to be part of our wonderful culture that we have here in South Huntington. Also along those lines of orientations, we also had we are having right now, we had it today and tomorrow, administrative workshops. Ms. Cavanaugh has been doing a wonderful job, setting it up, and wonderful activities for our administrators. And that's something we do each summer, getting ready for the beginning of the school year, looking at new district goals and initiatives. And it's been well received, and we will be ready to go. So,
Anything else, Dr. Leah?
that is it.
Okay. Lucy.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so Whitman just hosted the class of 2029 student orientation, and it was a very great and welcoming event for the new freshmen. I assisted in touring the incoming class, and it was very nice getting to know everyone. It was also the first time Whitman had the So Fun game show at orientation, and it was a great way to warm students up to the high school, and we were also treated to ice cream, and that was really fun. So the volunteers and students were allowed to get ice cream. So I enjoyed that part. I attended the NSBMA, the National Student Board Member Association conference this past weekend, and it was very helpful to get me to start understanding what I'm going to do for the Board of Education this year. I worked closely with the staff at the association, and I got very good insight on what's expected of a student board member, and I specifically worked with the phone ban panel, and we developed ways to get students more adapted to the phone ban, which gave me an overall look on how I should be using my position to help students. Specifically to our school phone ban policy, I would like to note that the bell schedule has been changed to 7:25 to 7:18 for the high school in the morning, which is very important for the students to get to school on time, and it has also been changed from 2:16 p.m. to 2:21 is when the buses will leave, so that is also very important. Senior events are beginning to kick off the school year with a car decorating happening at the Whitman parking lot 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Monday, September 1st, which I'm very excited about. And senior sunrise will be happening on the turf right before school starts on September 2nd. Many seniors are working on their college applications right now through Common App, and it's a very stressful time, but we're super excited for all these events, and I know a lot of my friends and I are looking forward to many of the senior things. And finally, fall sports tryouts have begun this week, and we are heading into the new school year with many game events coming up early in the school year, so look out for those dates and see those amazing games. And yeah, add on to the marching band, I'll have a lot of friends in there, and I saw some videos, and they're just doing great work. That is a 9 to 9 long hours, so I give them props. Yeah.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you, Lucy. All right. Voice of the residents. Any residents like to address the board? Yes.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Courtney Anderley. I hope everyone's having a really good summer. I just want to we haven't made any decisions about the bus monitors yet, right? That's still, you guys are still discussing that?
No, we talked about it at the last meeting, and we
Presentation?
Yes, and the board did decide to move forward with three parts to the plan on the transportation.
Okay.
It was the letting kids go out a little earlier when they get to the...
Right. Everything that was in the
Yep.
presentation,
Yep.
that's everything that's
Yes.
just been, okay. So
Yep.
I have a couple of questions about that, if that's okay.
Yep.
Just for a little bit of history, I did meet with Dr. D'Elia, Dr. Hender, and Mr. Conway back in June. I had some issues that I wanted to talk through with them, a couple of ideas, and so I'm kind of throwing the history in with those questions just so everybody is on the same page. first, when we talked back in June, I brought up how cameras on the buses force us to only be reactive to situations. We can only see what's happening after it's already happened, and what can you do at that point? They don't stop bad behaviors from happening the way a person could, especially if that person is someone you built a relationship with over like the course of a couple weeks. If a person's put on on a bus after something's happened, that could probably be seen as like a punishment, and I can feel like a lot of kids might have like a "no, you're here to rat me out" type of approach to that. So I'm curious how we landed on rotating bus monitors and how that could not be like that's the same approach as like being reactive, right? Like if you do you understand what I mean? Like
Yes, but
being placed someplace like
having-
afterwards, like that's a reactive approach, right?
yeah, but I also want to say that having no monitors.
It's better than none.
No, I
Right.
know because in the past, large buses we haven't had monitors on them.
Right.
Now the board has made a decision in full support of putting monitors
Yeah.
on the big buses, and some of them may be more. I don't want to use the word permanent, but maybe on more on a regular basis they could be on a certain bus. But we also want principals to have the opportunity to be able to rotate on certain buses because maybe a situation's happening on a different bus, and now we just have them assigned to just those 5. But there's really issues happening on another bus.
Right.
So I think it's important for principals.
Everybody else to see that, but if the monitors are just being moved after the incident, then that skews the data just a little bit, right? That makes sense. So like there is measurement, like we have
Yes.
like a formula that's going to be in.
Yes, we will, and we will be presenting that later in the school year.
Okay, good,
Yes.
good. So there's like a 2.0 presentation we can look forward to.
Yes, yeah. We called this a pilot, so
Okay.
you know.
The audio, I was on vacation, so the audio was like a little messed up. I haven't had a
Okay.
chance to like catch up on
That's
that,
okay,
so
yeah.
that's why I'm like,
That's
this
fine.
is just questions.
Yeah. Yes, we called
Um,
it a pilot, so that means that they have to come back to us, you know, in the context of the budget presentation, you know, probably 6 months from now to present what the data is on all these items to make sure all of them are working, you know.
Right.
The calm school bus, as well as how it's working with respect to the drop and go model, because we may expand that or change that, depending upon how that works as well.
Okay. And then lastly, while we're just on the topic of busing and issues, I had brought it up to the gentleman I talked to in June, and I just want to bring the idea to the board now is that we need to have better equity and clearer rules when it comes to the rules on the bus and the do's and don'ts. For example, hitting someone gets you this, interfering with the driver gets you that. That way the kids know what their actions are going to get them. I feel like it's left too much up in the air. Because it can't always be like, you can't do that because that's not what a good citizen does. Sometimes it has to be, if you do this again, you're going to get kicked off the bus for a week. Along with that, when it's the principals or the APs, there's too many people that we can report these issues to. I can talk to the bus driver, I can talk to the AP, I can talk to the principal, I could call transportation, I can also go to transportation's website. I can do any of these things, and it's like you never really know where you're gonna go. You don't know, and I guess apparently at Birchwood, the students can like input information in somewhere if they have an issue too. There's just, you never know what you're supposed to do. And so if I have the opportunity to talk to the driver and the driver doesn't really report it to anybody, and I don't know that, or if I talk to the assistant principal and they don't do it, like there's no protocols. And so maybe the third time I'm having to talk to somebody about something that happened on the bus, that's too many times. Like there needs to be, you report it to the assistant principal and then it gets put in a database somewhere. I shouldn't have to worry about my kid getting hit over and over and over and over, and it just like it's not going anywhere. You talk to the students, there's no paper trail. I keep a paper trail of all the times I've talked to and emailed people, but it's never on the other side. I think having more guidelines, clearer rules will also help in the case of a staff turnover. Recently at one of my kids' schools, we had a staff turnover, and all the issues that had been happening for 2 years prior, well, now the slate's wiped clean because it's a new person in charge that's handling all these issues. So I'm saying, no. I know this is the first time my son's been choked on the bus this year, but it's happened before. That shouldn't be happening more than once. And I think that we need to continue all the rules that are in place. Like if my kid gets choked in the classroom, that's the rule that should be followed on the bus. But I think a lot of it gets missed in, I don't know where to take these problems to. I don't know who to go to for this. And yeah, maybe I told like transportation or I told the bus driver, but like what did they do with that? And like the ball gets lost. So I think that we need to like sit down and have clear guidelines because it's the wild, wild west. We all know that, and the kids know that, and I think they take advantage of that a little bit. Also, it's like very frustrating for a parent when you have an issue, and maybe I've talked to the assistant principal 20 times, and now the principal's involved. But like, what do you do when your problem's still not being solved and your kid's still a target on the bus? Like, we need to have better rules. So I'm kind of hoping that, with, you know, with getting the monitors on the bus, we'll get the ball rolling a little bit. But there's other improvements that we can make riding the buses, and I'm really hoping that this will help kind of reorganize the whole thing.
Yeah,
And
and I think that's why Dr. Leo, when he presented, he presented it as a comprehensive approach. He didn't want, it's not just one issue. There's got to be many things tackled. In terms of the reporting, though, are you saying that only have it reported to one person? Because we do know, I mean, we get incident reports, and I reviewed them over the summer as we were talking about this. They are filed by multiple people, so the bus drivers do file them, as well as they could be parent initiated or student initiated. So you're saying it should only, I just want to clarify your point
I think
on that.
there just needs to be like clear. You go in for kindergarten orientation. Hi, parents. If you have a bus issue, contact this person.
Okay.
There's one person in charge of that, just so everybody knows. Because I talk to other parents, and I talked to the bus driver, and they didn't do anything about it. And it's like, well, did you call this person? Because that's what I do. And then, like I said, there's 5 different ways you could go about it, and if you're not getting. Like, how's the totem pole? Do I talk to the bus driver first? If I don't, like, if somebody's not doing something, where do I go after that point? You don't want to bring all your issues straight to the board every time, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, there just needs to be clear things. And then it would be very helpful on, if your student, my kid is getting choked on the bus, I want to know what's going to happen because I know last week that kid that did that kicked my kid in the head. So, like, are we just putting up with it? Like
No.
It can't be. But we did. We have been for 3 years. It's the same thing. So that's what I'm saying.
Are you asking to share the consequence?
I'm just
'Cause we're not really
clear consequences. But I mean, if the students also know, well, that kid, he hit you last week. It's not going to happen because if he does it again, he's going to get kicked off the bus. That type of stuff. I mean, I don't think it's fair to just be case by case basis because that leaves way too much. Like, too much can get lost in that, and also depending on who's handling the situation. If it's handled 5 times before from that guy, and now this new person's in charge, it's not clear enough on like what's going to be happening.
Yeah, I know when we met, that was one of our, one of the things we really focused on, and Dr. Hender working with the elementary principals, having that centralized person, and we'll make sure during the open school nights that the community will know who to contact.
Right,
sure,
right.
so that's related to a bus issue.
Right, that's good. I mean, because Birchwood does have like where the kids can report things too, right?
Yeah, so we'll develop a level of consistency.
Yeah, my kid has no idea about that. So I'm like asking him, and he has no idea. So like that's an issue all itself. They don't know where to go when they have a problem. So overall, I'm really happy with the movement that I'm seeing with the bus issues, and I'm hoping this year will be not like the rest.
So are we.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the board? Once, twice? All right. So we'll take a motion to go back into executive session to discuss a student matter, a matter of personnel, and a matter of potential litigation. Is there a motion? Ms. Meyer, second. Ms. Clark and Mr. Scragg, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, everyone, be well. We'll see you on the 3rd and have a great start to the school year. Thank you.